and it could cause your plant to die. I love when plants surprise you. They're both doing fine and it's all fine and everything's fine. Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and today we're going to be talking about these bad boys, also known as Aglaonema or Chinese evergreen. Chinese evergreen plants are fairly easy to take care of, kind of like the easy to medium spectrum. They don't need all that much special attention or anything, so they're pretty good for beginner houseplant owners, which is great. Love an easy plant. Oh, I didn't realize that Chinese evergreen existed for like a year after I got into houseplants. Like most plants I knew existed, but just never got or like wasn't interested in. This one, I saw it for the first time and I was like, what is that? I have no idea what that is. So I had to ask the internet. And the internet told me it was a Chinese evergreen plant, and now I love them, and I have two. They're known for their sort of beautiful, variegated, feather-shaped leaves. If any of you seen my plant guessing video, Joe, my boyfriend, very much liked to describe these leaves as feather-shaped, which I mean is pretty accurate. They do kind of look like feathers. They come in loads of different varieties as well. Like you see, I've got two. The first one I got was this sort of green and dark green variety. And basically it's just got these really beautiful, stripy, variegated leaves, which I think are stunning. The other one that I've got is more of a red variety. It's kind of got green middles and red, pink outsides. The new growth is fairly pink in there. And the stems are really nice, bright pink in the middle. These ones are great because they don't need all that much attention, which is great. Always looking for new houseplants that don't need me to be constantly caring for them all the time. Also, these guys can flower. That little bit of lighter new growth in there, that actually is a flower that is coming out. You can cut them off if you want, but I'm curious to see what happens, so I'm gonna keep it. I love when plants surprise you. Another amazing thing about Chinese evergreen is that they are one of the NASA Clean Air certified plants, so they do end up helping your house have slightly cleaner air, which is amazing. I'm not saying it'll act as like an air purifier in your home, but like any little bit counts, especially if you're living in a city. Clean air is better air. I'm not gonna say no to that. Before I get into the care of these bad boys, I'd like to say if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and comment on other houseplants you'd like me to tell you how to take care of, and subscribe for more videos. Right, let's get into it. Chinese evergreens are great because they don't need all that much light. They are renowned for their ability to live in medium to lower light. The darker the leaves, the less light they need. So this one here can probably handle medium to low light and be perfectly fine. Whereas the varieties that are more reddy and pinky and brighter in general probably need more medium to bright indirect light to be happy. That's not that bad. They tolerate a lot less. They'll just grow a bit more slowly. So that's fine. As long as they're not getting direct sunlight, that should be good, because direct sunlight will scorch their leaves and make them very unhappy. So this dark green one here, I have about 1 meter or 3 feet away from a southwest window in my living room. That's probably way more light than it necessarily needs, and that might be why it's been pushing out new growth quite a lot. This one here I have in my bedroom, which has a northeast facing window. It's probably about 2.5 meters or 8 feet or so away from that window. So this one is in a bit more of a low light place. I probably could switch them around. I might end up doing that at some point, but I think they're fine for now. This one's still pushing out new growth even though it's in lower light. I think they're happy, so it's fine. Chinese evergreens aren't too picky when it comes to water. They like it when you let the top quarter or so of their soil dry out before watering them again. Usually in the growing season, which is spring and summer, that watering schedule will probably look to be about every week or so. And then in the autumn and winter, when it's not growing season, you want to cut down on watering quite a bit. Probably only water them every 2 to 3 weeks. So they definitely don't need as much in the winter. Overwatering these bad boys will lead to root and stem rot, which isn't very fun, and it could cause your plant to die. If you notice that your leaves are starting to yellow a little bit, it could mean that you are either over or underwatering. Check your soil out. If it's wet, you're overwatering, and if it's dry, you're probably underwatering. So yeah. Chinese evergreen aren't too picky about the temperatures that they live in. Their ideal though is about 16 to 27 degrees Celsius or 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty average household temperatures. Basically, if you're comfortable in your home, they'll be comfortable in the home. If temperatures get below 10 or 15 degrees Celsius or 50 or 60 degrees Fahrenheit, they're gonna have a bad time. So try not to let them get that cold. Also, if they are experiencing cold drafts or are next to heating or air vents, they're not gonna like that at all. If they get too cold, they start to get brown edges and their leaves start to curl, which isn't very good. So if you're noticing that, just move them away from hot and cold vents. Chinese evergreens aren't too picky about the humidity they have either. Average to high household humidity should be fine, so I wouldn't worry about supplementing humidity too much for them. If you are noticing a bit of crispy edges, you could give them a little bit more. I personally mist this one every once in a while because it's near other plants that like to be misted. It's grouped, so it's also getting a bit of humidity from that. This one, on the other hand, I don't mist at all, because it's downstairs and I forget to mist my downstairs plants quite a lot. So they're both doing fine and it's all fine and everything's fine. Another amazing thing is that they're not super picky about soil. Average houseplant soil should be fine for them. Just make sure that it's not too heavy. They do want it to still be well draining. They also don't need repotting all that much either, probably every 2 to 3 years because they're so slow growing. They also like to be a little bit pot bound, so it's not an issue. But when you do repot, make sure you have them in pots with drainage holes because otherwise they're gonna get wet feet and be unhappy. This one lives in a hanging planter within this nursery pot, so it's getting plenty of drainage. And this bigger one is in this beautiful concrete decorative pot, and again also in its nursery pot, so it is getting the drainage it needs. When it comes to fertilizing, they do like a little bit of fertilizer in the growing season. So in spring and summer, you want to fertilize them probably about every 2 weeks to a month. I've just started fertilizing these ones with liquid gold leaf, and I mean, so far it's been good and I haven't had any issues with that. Propagation of Chinese evergreen is pretty easy. Basically, you would just do it through division. So in here you can see there's quite a few different plants, and you just take one of them out and separate it at the roots. I've heard also that you can do stem cuttings. I've heard you can cut them and do a top cutting and it would root from there, which pretty cool. But I personally have never propagated them myself. These are just things I hear. Probably the only downside to Chinese evergreen is that they are toxic. The sap from them can cause skin irritation if touched, or if it's ingested, it can make your mouth and lips and tongue and throat and stuff irritated. So, I mean, don't eat your plants. And that is true of both humans and pets. The internet says it can be quite intense and not very fun. So just don't let anyone eat your plants and you should be fine. It'll all be good. Just keep them out of reach of pets and children. So that's it. That's all you need to know about Chinese evergreen plants. They're awesome, aren't they? Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. comment other plants you'd like me to talk about, because I can do that for you if I have them. And subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! It's so freaking hot here in the UK today, just sitting here. So I'm holding this plant between my legs, and so it's kind of tense, and I'm sweating out my knee pits. I know you probably didn't want to know that, but now you do.